You know, looking back at this particular school year, perhaps we should have known this was coming. Marching band practices were early in the morning, outside on what we called the practice field. Those that live in Texas can attest that Texas weather can be a bit, well, odd. This particular year it rained, quite a bit for our area anyway, and we tended to get surprise pop-up showers while we were out there, which means we had to quickly protect instruments and head inside where we work our music the rest of the period. I thought, maybe God just wanted us to improve on our music. We should have realized that it was an omen of things to come. Fast forward one flight and some Californian adventures later, the day of the Rose Parade. You know, that parade on New Year's with all the floats made of flowers. That parade that's almost always nice weather for. The parade that hadn't been rained on for 60 years. I'll give you a wild guess what happened that day. Yep, it rained. Actually, it got rained on quite a bit that trip. But let's get back to the parade. That early morning. Really early morning. We had trash bags over our uniforms in the staging area, but obviously we couldn't march in those. Now don't get me wrong, despite the rain it was still a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The feeling of coming into the view of all the press boxes is both exhilarating and terrifying, not to mention the anxiety of rounding what is known as the corner, and maintaining straight lines. Our band was quite large, which made this challenging. Our band was so large that one channel went to commercials while we were marching by, and when they came back, we were still marching by. So how is it marching in chilly, rainy weather? Well, there's the wind. The thing about playing the flute is the air you blow goes this way, but if the wind just happens to be coming from the opposite way, well, it becomes kind of difficult. Not only that, but the wind was constantly blowing on our plumes, and it made it feel like your hat was going to come off despite the fact that it was strapped to your head. Then there was the rain. It didn't pour the whole time, at least I don't think, but I also don't think it ever stopped. The longer we went, the more water the wool uniforms absorbed and the heavier they became. Not to mention it was on the chilly side. A lot of us had hand warmers in their pockets, but some had theirs burst. Did I mention the pants were white? There was a section just outside the official parade route that had people protesting President Bush, who started yelling at us for some reason. I don't know, I guess we were from Texas, but most of us couldn't even vote, so I don't know what they were trying to accomplish. There was a brief period where we stopped but kept playing whenever we were told to. I was in a section that was lucky enough to be under the bridge. I think the people under there may have been homeless, unfortunately, but at least they got a free mini concert. If you include the staging and exiting area, the whole parade was about 7 miles. Needless to say, you get tired toward the end. The ever-encouraging band parents were along the last mile or so with signs that said 1 mile left, then half a mile left, then 1 mile wait. Just what are you guys trying to pull? We marched all the way to the buses, soggy and cold by the time we arrived. Upon arriving to the hotel, the thermostat was cranked up to 90. Soggy uniform parts were thrown throughout the room. Instruments were placed in open cases to try to dry off. Downstairs, some band parents were using hair dryers to try to resurrect the plumes. Some of them never recovered. There was a mall right next to the hotel that we could go eat at, but we were too exhausted. My roommates went down to the gift shop and brought some ramen and cooked it in the coffee pot. Somehow. I texted and begged my parents to bring me something on the way to the airport. The next day, we flew back. There was a long line to get into the local dry cleaners to drop off band uniforms. And a bunch of us got sick. But I don't know if you can blame marching in the rain on that. We also went to the beach when it was in the 50s, and a bunch of them got in the water despite parents saying maybe they shouldn't. So all in all, the trip was quite memorable. I plan to talk more about the California band trip someday, but the parade experience takes up a video all of its own. Thank you for all the subs and views so far. If you like this and want to see more, please like and subscribe. Your subscriptions and views and kind comments are enough, but if you'd like to support me, there's some options below. See everyone next time!